Hello everyone and welcome to the news section, and it's really good to see that you have made so far. A lot of people are not able to make so far in the course. So here you are and you might want to have a look about the details, what is happening at the background. So far we have been focusing just on the things which are working on the front end. We have no idea which files loads up first or which file loads up second, which is most important, which is not most important, how the main method works, or even if there is a main method in the Swift and whatnot. So in this section, we will dedicately focusing that at first, and thereafter we will design a really cool app. So let's try to with that. So for this, you might want to go into your exercise file, and I've already created a file. I haven't done much into that, just a couple of printf lines, and I'll mark you there where I have put the code. And you might want to open the applife file and just double click on this applife.xcode proj. That's the Xcode project. So once you have opened that up, it's a really quick way to open up this file. And there is not nothing I have done. I have just placed a couple of printf statements like in the methods like view did load, and I have added a couple of methods like view will appear, view did appear. You don't have to just do it right now, just open that file. And I want to discuss a couple of things about that. Now, most important, I want to discuss about the things like how the application running process work. And of course, most of it just works. We don't need to be care about so much, but it's a good idea to understand how your application loads up, because there are a couple of points where you are given a fractions of seconds to interact with the app. Maybe you want to interact while the zooming animation happens, or maybe when the application goes in the background or comes back from the background to the foreground. You might want to have some of the features like you might want to show your app how to download an application on the background process or keep running the music while you are having your iPhone logged up. So these are the few things that need to be worked out. So far we have seen that the most important file is the view controller. We have been writing all of the code out here, but you are mistaken, and I'll forgive you for that for a moment if you have think so, but that is not the case. The most important file is the app delegate file, this one, the app delegate file, and the info.plist. And there are a couple of other changes in the app life as well. In the general, usually it starts in the general, but I'm interested right now in the capabilities. I'll come back that in a moment. First, I would like to discuss about the app delegate file. Now, you might have seen that we don't have any main method in the Swift so far, and Swift is designed so that it doesn't have any main method. So how you can do that when you don't have any main method? Of course, sometimes in the application, we want to have some entry point from our code so that we can actually talk about the things like that. So where is that main method? Now, Objective-C guys might have already figured that out, that yes, this is the main method, the @ UI application main. And this is known as the marker, and this is the entry point for that. And if I just comment it out eventually, and obviously my code is going to pop me an error because now there is no entry point and my application will not even build. If I hit a command B, it is going to give me an error. So I'll not do that. And having an error is always not at all a good idea. So what happens with the life cycle of an application? Now, first of all, when your application loads up, it obviously calls up this main method, and a couple of things goes on simultaneously. First of all, this main method creates a basic object that represents the main object. So this one guy, this creates a main object, and this is also known as the main object, nothing fancy about it. But this main object is being created by the reference of this info.plist file. What is this file? This file contains lots of property sets. Like one of the thing that we are going to mess around is while we are downloading some data from the website, maybe some JSONs or directly as it is data. Now there is a feature in the Apple that says that you always should refer or take data from the websites which are having a HTTPS. Now, if the website doesn't support the HTTPS, then you have to make a little bit of changes out here to make sure that your application accepts the data from the HTTP. So these are some of the properties, and you can have a tons of properties like what is your version, what kind of OS you are going to support, maybe your application is backward compatible or not, what is your product name, what is your version, what is going to be your first launch screen, are there any action required before launching, and tons of things can be out there, really exhaustive one. So once the object is being created with the help of this property list, then your application moves on further to the main application lifecycle. And after that, it refers to the app delegate file. And a lot of thing happens at this moment. Now, once the object is being created with this file is referred, this is app delegate, and a lot of thing happens like it loads up the application, maybe application will resign being active, maybe the application will go into the foreground, or maybe entering into the background, will become active, will terminate, and tons of things can happen, but actually nothing is appearing on the screen at this moment. It just says, yes, your application have loaded up with did finish launching with options. So your application is about to launch. Now, this is the moment where you see that interesting phenomena of when you tap on an application, it gives you an animation of zooming. So this is the point where it happens. And once nothing is on the screen, it is about to load. Now, after that, the UI application main creates an object, loads up your main storyboard file. Now this file, this main storyboard, is launched at that moment. And sidewise, apart from that, this is happening onto a one scale, but everything happens on such a blink of eye that you don't realize it. So apart from that, this is happening on a sidewise, and on the sidewise, your app delegate file is also getting loading a window. This window is known as the UI window, and from just one movie ahead, just you can count it as a second movie, we will talk about this UI window, and I'll show you that UI window onto a 3D zooming view. So at this moment, this UI window is launching up. Now this UI window is nothing, but still it's visible. It gives you an idea how much boundary size of your iPhone or iPad or whatever the things need to be loads up. It gives you just a background wall of putting up all your applications interface like buttons, labels, or maybe image viewers and all of that. And this is where your zooming effect completes up. So you can have as many as view controllers, but in real life, we don't touch many of those view controllers like app delegate and all of that. We don't touch them quite a lot out there in the real world. And obviously the app delegate files and view controllers are most of the times being touched. So this is the one, the view controller, which we'll be touching quite a lot. Okay, good so far, quite an exhaustive ones. Okay. Everything is done so far, but still one of the thing is remaining. Now, once the everything is being set up, now it is brought to the user eye, and what the first thing that you'll see is this one. This method is being called up. It is the view did load. As soon as everything is stack is being set onto the screen, this method will load up this view did load, and you can see that I have got a print line, but I'm not going to run this application in this movie. There is a second movie for that. So once your app delegate file or the view controller file actually loads up and did all of the finished launching, now everything is on the screen and you are transferred the control or being transferring the control from the OS to this file, this view controller.swift file. You are being transferred as a control over this file. Now you can do whatever you wish to have. You can have methods like view did load, and some of them are default, some of them are not, like view will appear, view did appear. You can do all of such things. You can place them manually and can have everything. Okay, I can understand this was a bit exhaustive for the users who are having the first time things. But again, these things give you an idea that yes, all of the things are with us. Again, Apple gives you a fractions of moment to interact with these things like view will appear, view did appear to perform a couple of things. But again, be quick about that. Okay, so final takeaway, there is nothing hidden, everything is there. You just need to look where the things are, but again, everything is being transparent to you. And most of the structures being provided by the Xcode as the default templates give you an access for that. But I would again say just be quick about that. Like for example, if you are taking some data from the websites and you are saying that when my application is just about to resign active, being active, or about to enter the background or foreground, just take data from the internet. Now that's not a good idea, obviously, because it may take some time. Your application may get hung up on that, and it's just a fraction of a second where OS will decide that, hey, you are taking too much of memory and you need to get closed up. So this is really a bad situation. Okay, so quite a good info. Now let's move on to the next movie to understand how the things goes on via the coding perspective.